live. Maybe we're live, yeah. Oh, we're finally live. Simps and pimps, dude. Simps and pimps. Either you
easy will be great.
There's two things I learned in this life. Either use a pimp or use a simp. Hell yeah.
Red pill beta cuck.
I am a soy boy beta cuck. I am not I am a soy boy, dude. Fuck yeah. I'm telling everybody right now, dude. I'm a soy boy.
Because they said that soy would like turn you trans or whatever.
Well, actually, there are numerous studies though that actually say that soy does lower your testosterone levels though. So like if you would consume massive amounts of soy, I think it does take a little more than just a bit. You know, you have to eat like soy continuously in a pretty good amount for it to really affect your testosterone levels, as far as I know. But like, I don't know. I just want to be an effeminate man, so I gotta take more. I gotta eat more soy.
So you can be a better soy boy.
I am the poster child for soy boys.
Kinky. I like it.
I'm not. I should not be the poster child for anything, to be honest. But I am Subway. I am Subway's new spokesperson.
Anti-molestation soy boy.
I am now. I'm the new Jared Fogle for Subway. No, just kidding. JK, folks. JK, don't take that seriously.
Can't take Fogle away from the folks.
Dude, you know it's funny. You can't. You know the old saying goes, you could take the Subway away from the Fogle, but you can't take the Fogle out of the Subway.
God damn it.
How much do you want to bet that when Fogle gets out of prison, the first place he goes to eat is a Subway?
I guarantee he's not setting foot in that place ever again.
I guarantee he will. I would love to place a bet on this. But
he's fucking done with Subway.
I would love it, dude. Imagine Fogle gets out of prison.
That's like Bill Cosby calling up Raven when he gets out of jail. Hey, you want a job? Put him up, girl.
Dude, it's happening. It's gonna happen. He's gonna do it out of spite, because you know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be people.
Jizz on it.
No, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is he's gonna go into the Subway, right? And then there's gonna be tons of people with their video cameras, right? Their little video phones. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Subway took me back as their spokesperson," and he's just gonna. Dude, that. If Fogle pulled that off, dude, I would laugh pretty hard. That'd be incredible.
Hey, get on in here for a photo.
Oh, dude, we got 8.
Sure to send that to me.
Dude, we got 8 viewers. We got 8 viewers right now. We got a guy from South Africa saying, "Hey, brother," all the way from South Africa. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, this person's got an iPhone question. What's your iPhone question, bro? And then this person's saying, "Act gay on the call. We'll sub." I was gonna say, yeah, I'm acting pretty damn gay on this one right now.
Is that like a statement or a question? But yeah, I have an iPhone, so I might be able to help with that shitty iPhone question.
You're now the iPhone tech support.
Thank you for calling. I am not that kind of Indian.
Yeah, this is you guys. We're dealing with a native one, so
unless it's smoke signals, I'm probably not that helpful.
Smart man. All right, let me get this pop-out chat going real quick here.
I can't believe that they didn't touch your shit. Oh, check Kuma. He might have stuff on him. If your animals kill people, they collect the stuff that they eat off the body. So, Kuma and your bear, the female bear, might have stuff from the people that tried to raid us.
Oh, hell yeah.
God damn it, I'm going to be really mad if you not only survived, but you got stuff out of me getting attacked.
They might have. They might have just did it like, maybe they're trying to frame me. No, they're just like.
It's like an ascended pistol and fucking.
It's good shit, dude. Hold on, I'm gonna get the live chat showing on here real quick.
Fucking asshole.
I know, dude. Like, I got everything handed to me on this one, dude.
and all I got handed to me was my
You deserved it, bro.
taking fucking strays, and this is what happens.
Yeah, you shouldn't have brought me on, bro. I only bring bad luck to your village. I only bring
I believe that.
I bring bad luck to your village.
Mike, you stood by me when my character got sick. You stood by me when I died from a fall. You stood by me after I got raided.
I
No
just
bad luck.
I just slept the whole time.
I invite you into my tribe. You break the ceiling. That's probably where they raised me from. It's a fucking one hole in my base that I didn't plan on. Oh,
Oh, Tim Smith. Tim Smith is on. He said, "Is this guy on the phone live from a Tesla protest?"
Yes, in my trailer, protesting Tesla by masturbating furiously.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. I'm gonna open up. Actually, I need to share my screen real quick.
See, the fucked up part is I'm actually on board with Tesla. I don't have anything against Tesla Motor Company.
Yeah. Like, I understand if people don't like Elon, fine, but don't stop vandalizing Teslas. That's all anybody asks. It's
yeah,
like,
don't ruin other people's stuff. They paid money for that. They worked hard for it. Like, yeah, I think we can all agree that that's not the way to make change.
and also,
Like, no one's gonna force Elon out of Doge because you spray painted some couple's Tesla.
it's just gonna make Elon pissed. Like, people don't realize Elon's just gonna get more pissed, so he's just gonna do things that'll be against you. So it's like, there's no point in vandalizing. Just peaceful protest. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to destroy everything to start some sort of revolution. You just need to collectively vocalize and be peaceful about it. Peaceful protest works.
And especially with a president like ours who has a tendency to act kind of like a teenager sometimes, like emotionally rather than logically. Like, he's gonna treat that like you're saying fuck you to him, even though you may not be. Like, that's a huge risk, and that's not how you make change in times like these.
Yeah.
Alternatively, and oh man, I'm sorry for shitting on Trump so much, but this
it's okay. This stream is about alternate viewpoints as well. We want to hear all viewpoints. So
normally I give you like these people are doing illegal stuff, they deserve to be deported. Yeah, like I'm with you on that one. But right now, across our nation, people with legal visas are being told that they are no longer legal because they participated in either peaceful protests, or some of them, the action is as small as liking something on social media.
Now that I think is weird if they're doing that
they're
shit.
being told they're no longer welcome here. These are college students for the most part. Like, and they're saying now, and I understand if they were like forming a terrorist cell, that's one thing. Like, but this isn't dissent against the United States. This is active free speech. Like, a lot of them, it's for the relations between Hamas and Israel, which neither of those are the U.S. It doesn't matter which side you take. But oh man, I have some major issues with that because I love a free American. As an Indian, I already lost the right to tell people who can be here and who can't. No, but I just think that's fucked, man. There's a lot of cases of really good people, which these are positive Americans. That's why I sent that text about Samir, because in my opinion, he's like, I don't know if he's like what his status is, because I've never asked. It never mattered. The guy who opened the Fast Marts, I just fucking love him. He's a great American, in my opinion. He started out with not that much. He capitalized, and his businesses are enriching the area. Like, you could not ask for, like, a better business than the Fast Marts.
Yeah, he's an
Uh,
efficient mofo, dude. That guy's an
yeah,
efficient mofo. It's just like these the American market, I think, is the one that's Lighthouse Grocery, I guess, or it used to be Lighthouse Grocery. Now I think it's
yeah.
the that you talking about that. That's the same guy you're talking about, right?
No, those are different ownership.
Oh, but I know.
Mine
Oh,
is the
wait.
guy.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So Fast Smart. I remember. I think I actually met the
That's
guy once.
yeah. If you go to the Coquille stories, they're all the time.
Yep, I do remember
Um,
meeting him actually, because one time when I was hanging out at Nathan's place way back in the day when he was in Coquille, we had walked down to the Fast Mart over there, and I had seen him in there. So yeah, I know who you're talking about. What a beast!
but I mean, he bought a dilapidated store in one town. Now he's the owner of 5 different stores in the county. Like, all of them are successful, clean. Fucking, there's not junkies and homeless people hanging out outside of them. Fucking, which is hard for the fucking region he picked.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean it just depends. Like if he's got people, like, as long as they're not doing anything wrong, I guess, you know. It's kind of tough though, because he probably does have to kick people off the premises a lot of the times,
All the
if
time, I imagine.
because you know he's probably got people trying to shoplift and shit. And that's the thing about convenience stores, man, is people coming in and shoplifting. That would, I mean, you have to make sure you got like a decent amount of cameras and kind of looking down the aisles, you know, keeping tabs on shit.
Well, and your clerks have to be alert. That's the other thing. Like, if your clerk isn't working, oh, fuck, might as well be closed, or
Yeah.
you'd be better off closed.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
No, oh man. But I like to support local businesses, and a lot of our local businesses are founded by people that they may be first generation Americans, legally or not. Like, like Margaritas, the Mexican joint, like
Yeah.
their dad, um, like, I believe a first generation immigrant
Yeah.
from, um, fuck, what was it? He told me one time. I want to say it's Guadalajara. No, not Guadalajara. Fuck.
It's all good,
I don't
man.
remember.
It's
But he
just
told me one time when I was selling him a watch.
yeah, my grandpappy, you know, he's illegal as shit, dude. You know, he's not alive anymore, but my grandpa Garza, dude, fucking illegal AF, dude, came across the border, had my dad with an Irish woman, and my dad's an anchor baby, and
I believe it's a Star is the name for it. Um, the actual government program that protects kids of the, and that one's in huge threat. That's not gonna last.
yeah.
Yeah, that there will be no more Mike Garzas in the future
Uh,
because that's just not going to be allowed like that.
well, I mean, there will be legal immigration, just
Yeah, but your grandpa's story is never going to happen again.
oh, where like he ends up having a kid who's a natural born,
Yeah,
who
he
becomes a
came
natural
to
born citizen.
America, met a beautiful woman, had a child, started a family, lived the American dream.
Well, I think
You
if you
know,
get
that sort
married,
of way.
if you get married though, doesn't that count as like you become a citizen that way?
Nope. Marriage starts the green card, but it doesn't get you citizenship.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My grandpa did eventually become a citizen though. I forgot how he did it.
Yeah,
But
but not in today's America where we're deporting people left and right for minor crimes and things like that. He wouldn't be allowed to enter the U.S. He would likely be detained and then possibly sent to a country that was not his country of origin, which sucks. Alternatively, my great-grandfather, who came from Germany, would also be suffering the same issues, my great-grandfather Grasser, because he moved to Alaska. So he didn't use the standard become an American sort of way. Yeah, he bought some land in Alaska from somebody as a German, married a native, which was hugely frowned upon, and yeah, then had children, and at some point we became humans. Alaska wasn't even a state at that point, so it's not like they were illegal immigrating. They were walking into a territory. It would be like going to Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just not going to be a thing in the future, which kind of scares me. Because like we grew up with the American dream, and like that was one of the, like, as I saw it, redeeming factors of all of our opulence and excessiveness as Americans, was that we opened the door for others to try to achieve that too. Like, it's okay for us to be wealthy and fat and happy as long as we give other people that same opportunity.
Well, that's
And
the thing. That's the thing, though. It's like, why can't people just stay in Mexico? Why is Mexico so bad? I mean, I know Mexico's hot as shit. I get that.
well, for the same reason that everyone else's ancestors came here, because we do it better here. We strive for freedom. We strive to take care of the people, but that's not going to be the case for much longer.
Well, here's the thing, though.
We don't take care of the people anymore.
Well, America is not meant to take care of the world. I mean, we're the thing is, I wish more countries would just model our style of government as a constitutional republic, because that's the thing is, we favor individualism over collectivism, and that's the reason America is the success story it is today, because we pride ourselves in individual accomplishment. It sucks now that everybody hates people who accomplish it. I think there's too much envy, too many people.
I don't think everyone does hate people who accomplish things, because people aren't going, Bill Gates, you son of a bitch. Jeff Bezos, you asshole.
A lot of people are, though.
Mark Zuckerberg, you cocksucker.
A lot of people are hating.
They're saying it about particular people, and it's not just the wealthy. It's not like we're actually seeing unification between the lower class and the wealthy on this. That this kind of instability is not healthy. Ford said it's not going to open any auto plants in the U.S. for the next 4 years, even though there would be significant tariff reductions for having them there, because it's not a smart long-term strategy. You can't declare that what's going on this year will even be going on later this quarter.
Yeah.
And yeah, because of that, they're not opening any factories. Not in the United States, at least.
Well, that'll be on them. That'll be on them. And, and here's the thing. The reason the tariffs are happening is to promote getting manufacturing back here in America. The problem is we are lacking a lot of different jobs here in America, and it's getting pretty rough. And, we shouldn't have an entire nation relying on the government alone. I think that gets pretty rough too. So does it make things a little more expensive to have tariffs? Absolutely it does. But, brings more jobs in. I think it's
not
it's a net
creating
positive.
Jobs is part of the issue.
Well, for now, there will be other companies
right now,
who are.
It's removing jobs.
Well, think about it this way:
and
there's a level of competition here, though. There's how many companies are going to look at Ford and be like, okay, well, Ford's not going to make any plants here in America. Well, I guess I will, because that's an opportunity for me. That's an opportunity. So companies are going to be opportunistic. They may not all of them are on board now, but they will be, I think, later.
How about this? The terms that are for these tariffs, are not being applied unilaterally. Not all companies are getting the break for establishing motor companies in the United States that their competitor Tesla is. That's one of the major issues
but
for it. It's not equally and accurately being in place.
Under the Biden administration, Tesla was left out of several different like EV things intentionally. Because Elon was not on board with some of the I can't remember some of the administration stuff, but like
Yeah,
there's
he
the
wasn't
bias
on
goes
board
both
with the
ways.
wokeness, which is fair.
But
I support that.
the
He
bias
doesn't
goes
have to
both
be.
ways. Oh, real quick, Tim Smith says, "Who is this guy on the phone? Was this just a wrong number that you started a conversation with?" No, this is my buddy, Mr. White Eagle, and
You definitely should have let him believe it was the wrong number. That would be fucking hilarious.
in fact, you have
So
seen the
I
White
was
Eagle
getting this
before.
call about my auto warranty, and then fucking we started talking politics. That would be hilarious.
That would be a pretty good little story right there. And then also, Tim Smith is also saying, "Why are you?" So this is Tim Smith is saying, "Why are you on the phone with CNN? I'm so confused." All right, screw this. I'm ordering Popeyes.
First of all, I am a liberal socialist veteran, and I like to consider myself fair and moderately unbiased.
I'm biased as shit. I'm fair, but I'm biased.
I accept
You
that.
can be fair and biased. I do believe that because I'll admit I have my biases for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty hard nosed when it comes to like my hatred of central government. I don't like big centralized government. I prefer that more power be in the states' hands rather than the like. I believe there are certain exceptions though. Like for instance, ending slavery required that there be a federal law because not all the states were participating in what was clearly a bad thing and it needed to be done. But I think that
Hey,
federal.
Mike,
Oh,
I disagree. I'm going to go out on a branch here and say I support slavery, and that's my right as an American.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that.
No.
No, you can
No.
you can support. You could be on like for instance, if you were a slavery fanboy, like if you're if you were a fanboy of it, that's your right to believe that slavery is a good thing, but it's not your right to act and enslave somebody. You could believe that slavery is a good thing, that's fine, but like you cannot act upon it. So that's where free speech and freedom of expression and freedom of thought come in. You can think heinous things, but you cannot do. I mean, you can also do heinous things, but there is a punishment to it. There is a punishment to doing the heinous things. So like if like let's say you were on board with it, I don't think you really are, but
Damn it.
yeah.
To an extent, I mean, it depends. Like, I think you should be able to sell yourself into slavery, but not others. And to an extent, we already have that.
Well, we already do
As
that.
a
Yeah.
former member of the military, I can say it exists and we support it.
Well, yeah, not only signing up for the military because it's a contract that keeps you in there for X amount of years. Also,
and you sign away your Bill of Rights you sign away your right to collective bargaining, you sign away your right to yeah, there's so many rights you sign away to become a service member, and those are the ones I remember from when I was 18 and signed up.
Yeah.
Like I also certified that I was not nor ever had been a member of the Communist Party. Which was mildly inaccurate.
So I'm going to read some of these comments that come in, and I want you to respond however you feel like it. This is interesting.
Yeah, go for it.
So 97 Rimmon says, Ryman has a
How's
picture.
It spelled?
Riman. So I think it's Rimmon. Ryman? No, Rimmon.
Rimming these women.
But this person says people. Okay, so this person legitimately says people like this guy on the phone shouldn't have the right to vote. That I don't believe
Fair
that.
Enough.
I don't know.
That's his belief, and
it's a bad belief.
I mean, because I am such a radical at some points, I totally understand his belief that I could be detrimental to society as a whole. Simple ideas have brought down great nations before, and
but the best way to combat
a man of simple ideas.
But the best way to combat bad ideas.
I'm a proponent of like his speech and his freedom to say that. I totally understand why he would feel this way.
But one would argue that the best way to combat bad ideas is just have more good ideas or try to come up with better ideas. And the only way to come up with better ideas is just to let everybody say their piece and then keep saying their pieces. And then the bad ideas eventually get weeded out through natural selection, I
Thank
guess
you.
you could say.
Yes. I
Um,
was going to bring it back to your belief on capitalism, of where the ideas that are good, or at least favorable for some reason or another, come back. They
yeah,
get revisited. If it's a good idea, people come back to it.
yeah.
If it's a good company, people come back to it. If it's a good restaurant, you eat there again. It's, and the same can be said with ideas. If it's a good idea, like, now I know you're not pro democracy because you relate it to mob rule,
I do. It is
but
mob
at
rule.
least the idea that everyone's opinion matters or counts somewhat.
Well,
That is an idea that white culture has been passing down for at least 2,000 years. And I would call it like one of your best ideas that you have,
I
is
think it's
that
one of the worst white
everyone's
ideas of all
opinion
time.
does matter.
So here's the thing: everybody's opinion matters to a point, but when it comes to, like, for example,
Yes.
to a point, like, I think everybody has the right to express things, but ultimately, like, when it comes down to a matter of, like, for instance, on the state level, it is more like a democracy, but on the federal level, it's a representative situation when it comes to,
All
like,
right. I've got a quote for you. And I want you to tell me if it was a religious figure, a political figure, a sports figure, or a video game figure.
oh, this will be funny.
You like this?
I'm
Okay.
I'm curious.
Do whatsoever you please, so long as it brings no harm to other living beings.
Um, it sounds like something a video game character might have said. But it also could have been a political figure too. Actually, it might have been a political figure. I'm gonna say political figure.
Political figure? Okay. It's actually a Satanist. A very famous early Wiccan. His name's Aleister Crowley. Um, the song Mr. Crowley by Black Sabbath is
Yeah.
about him. Um, he, oh man. So, like I said, the belief is do whatsoever you please with your life, whatever you want, so long as it causes no harm to any other living being.
Mm.
Or, because he was a Wiccan, he had to respect other life forms like critters and stuff like that. That's why it's any other living being instead of the way we typically look at things like that with the. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm trying to play Hearthstone at the same time. But it was oh man, his idea for the time was almost revolutionary, but at the same time so incredibly simple that it's like, come on, people, figure this out.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, the irony is, like, violence will always be, I wouldn't say encouraged, but violence will always be utilized because it turns a non-powerful person into a powerful person. Like, for instance, if you pull out a gun, suddenly, like, let's say you're just some wimp, right? And you're threatening somebody, and that person's like,
yeah.
"What? You can't do shit. You're just a little wimp." The moment you pull out a gun, you go from being a level 1 to a level 99 character. And
So it's not the gun, it's
violence will
the
always be
aggression.
well, I'm just saying violence will always
Um,
be popular because of that ability, especially to use weapons as well.
we see it the same in conversations, and it's the aggressive control and the control of the situation,
hmm,
not the gun itself. So, like, when you're talking to your parents when you're a kid, even if you're right, you end up being wrong because they are in control. They control the situation, right?
yeah.
Like, it's so when it comes down to it with the gun thing, it's the same thing. You can say queers are unethical, and the other person can say, no, they aren't. And then you can say, well, I have a gun. And suddenly you become more right than you were earlier. It's not about being right, it's about controlling the outcome. I mean,
It's about power. Yeah.
like, Yeah.
I mean, human beings are, are naturally inclined to want power. It's an interesting thing. That's why, like, I'm weary of people who try to climb like the ranks in politics, because people
Yeah.
who climb the ranks in politics are power seekers, and sometimes it's a little creepy when
Ooh.
people who line their for instance, career politicians scare me a lot. So if somebody's been like Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the same person to me, because they've
Yes.
been career politicians their whole lives, and they've only that's all they've done, and
Yeah.
they've gotten rich off of the taxpayer money basically for I still don't know what I still don't know what Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have. I know Bernie. I will say this: Sanders does stick up for the working class. I will give him some props on that. He even said the Democratic Party lost the working class vote because they abandoned the working class. So they're like,
Alienated themselves from the Yeah.
yeah,
It's So I definitely see that, but back to the crap. Hold on, let me take this hit.
oh, you're good, bud. You're good. Take the hit, man. I'm gonna just talk to the audience real fast. So audience,
Oh yeah.
I'll read some comments really quick here. So 97 Riemann says I came in late, brother. I came in late. I thought he was justifying slavery. So many out of context moments. Oh my goodness. And then
Oh
let's
man.
see, that isn't
Oh, so
true.
now I can vote. That's fair enough.
It says median voter is wild. What are the political leanings here? Says 97 Remen. Jesus, can you guys actually stay on point and actually say something real?
Well,
I drift.
probably not. I'm sorry, Raymond.
I drift quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a drifter when it comes to conversation. I very am much an ADD thinker, so it's a bit of a problem. I'm mildly ADD, and I'm pretty sure I am. It's the worst excuse I could think of, but um, it's the truth. It's the ghastliest
Yeah.
of truths.
Well, and I relate it to so many things are interconnected, and we don't really pay attention to how interconnected these things are.
Yeah.
Um, in the same way that our body is the entire world to a single-celled organism, you know, these things have parallels across, like when we're talking about economics, political, religious, these are all parallels to the same issues, you know, basically saying the same thing. Or like when we talked about immigration, and you and I both want the same thing. What's best for everyone? Or, yeah. Really, even the most hateful people, they hate because they love. They love something so intensely, they want to protect it, even if it requires violence. And as a father, I totally understand that. I'd beat the shit out of some kids if it's what it took to protect mine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of how like xenophobic America's become of like other, other races of people. I do think that we need to, not leave the door open. I think that there should still be the vetting process. Let people through,
Yeah.
sure, but like, let's make sure these are people who like really want to see a good
So,
America, that
how
they're
would
on
you feel
board.
about this, Mike? If Doge did something like, for your green card, if you were coming in as a migrant worker or a migrant who needed a place to live, like your country sucks, you want to come to the US, they set them up in a situation like Job Corps, where like 3 days a week they do work for the government, whether it's cleaning up a park, cleaning up the roads, little stuff like that. And then the other 4 days a week, they're free to pursue their rights as an American or a pseudo American.
Oh yeah, all right.
Like, I would like that. And it allows us to take in almost everyone, because here in America, there are jobs to be done. Whether it's working on a farm, digging a ditch, paving roads, we've got jobs. I don't know why we don't fucking put prisoners on it, but that's
I will
shit.
say this though. Like I said, you
Raffle,
can't
raffle.
you can't. The problem is if you let too many people in at once, it's like I do believe that it needs to be a timed session. You can't just
Ooh. Okay.
like let's
Or
say you let too much water through the floodgates in one setting. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good
yeah.
analogy.
So you build a reservoir. You
Yeah.
take Wyoming and you let all of the immigrants work in Amazon distribution centers. They never have to see people that are white.
I mean, something like I don't know.
God damn it. I'm sounding like Nietzsche with like masters and slaves segregation. I don't like this.
Well, here's
He's
the
one of my
thing.
least favorite philosophers.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like a lot of when it boils down to, I just think that I don't know.
Corporate America is more able to take in refugees
I
than like political America is.
I think my greatest fear is this: is that we're gonna let people in who hate America, and will take their terrible ideas. Because here's the thing: most countries end up sucking because they either have bad government structures in place set up by the people, by the way, who have the same bad ideas. I just don't want an influx of also bad ideas coming in too. Because
most of the people who come to America as immigrants are fleeing either war-torn or drug cartel ran territories.
I hope
That's part of why.
but
Their own governments can't protect them.
but here's the thing: how did it get to that point? It's clearly there's
Is it their fault that 100 years of and how did it get to that point, Mike? Let's talk about what happened to South America and how it became a gang run, over infested. That's our fault. We did that. The Iran Contra issue, we were selling South American drugs to the Middle East in exchange for guns and money. Like, we did that. We made fucking South America as bad as it is. That's not their problem. Like,
well.
oh man.
Well, hold on. So we sold them drugs.
We bought drugs to sell to black people to make money to buy guns from Middle Eastern terrorists. Yes.
So
you should
what?
Look into the Iran Contra. You've heard of the game Contra, right?
Yes.
It's loosely based on the conflict, but it's a major issue of the 70s and 80s where the United States put their hand into several very stable countries in South America to destabilize them so that we could control the cartels.
Well, so that's what Mexico's trying to do, is trying to get...
a lot of these people are fleeing cartels that are basically our fault. CIA operated enlisted people, the American government. It's like, and it's not all of them. Some of them it is their own fault, because it's up to you whether you fall down and stay down.
Well, what I'm curious about is,
Church,
okay, so we sell them drugs, right? Why did they accept the drugs? As why did they accept drugs?
Us?
Us
or them?
I'm talking about why would they purchase the drugs from us then?
No, they didn't purchase. We bought drugs from them.
Okay, and then where do we take those drugs?
Yes, sell them to Americans.
So we sold them to Americans.
Yes.
So we're
sounds like we
fucked ourselves.
Middle Eastern guns. And then
we gave guns to
the rebels.
Okay, I see. We were arming
the same
a faction.
South American rebels that we just bought the drugs from.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Our CIA has a very bad history.
Yeah, I say get rid of the CIA then.
Also,
get rid of the FBI too.
The entire Panama state is a result of a war between us and the French. So, I mean, yeah, it's a war-torn nation ran by gangs, but it's not really their fault that it's a war-torn nation ran by gangs. That's our doing. Like, I love America still, by the way. We're still one of the best places. I know all this bad shit about us,
See,
but I still love
my
us.
fear
And
is that we're going to take back, like I said, with the way that, like, for instance, the college youth, for instance, saying that we need to like abolish the electoral college and shit like that. And we don't want to. So here's the thing, man. I sincerely believe that we should never become a pure democracy. I believe that, honestly, with the history of the concept of democracies, it actually screws a country more than helps. I really do
I'm
believe
going to disagree
majority
and
rules
say that
bad.
democracy is the only true equality among government. As
Ugh.
long as everyone's vote counts for one, everyone's vote counts for one. That, I mean,
It, it
that's good enough for me.
okay, how about
It-
this?
it-
Let's say I clone. This is gonna sound crazy, but let's say I clone myself, right? Let's say I clone 2 million of me, right? And then you clone, I don't know, 500,000 of you, and I put all 500,000 of you who think the same in one state, and I take all 2 million of me in one state that think the same, right? Now, obviously, I'm going to have slightly more electoral college votes in this instance because my population's greater than yours. But I'm not, also, the fact of the matter is that not all 2 million of me who think the same are not going to overrun, are not going to have, because like all of us, all 2 million of me are all in one little bubble. We all think the same. We all do the same. Monkey see, monkey do. Your 500,000 of
that
you,
doesn't really fix the injustices.
well, it
That
sort of,
doesn't balance
it
out, though, does it?
it does
I
balance
mean,
out,
not
because
particularly.
would you
You
want,
have all of the same risks with the electoral college that you have with a pure democracy. The only bonus that you don't have, though, is the actual equality. People aren't truly equal in a electoral college state.
well, here's the thing. There's democracy in the state voting because it is literally majority rule in state votings, but not in the sense of federal votings. And I'm glad it's that way. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want California determining the outcome because they happen to have a sloth of population. And they all, here's the thing, people who tend to gather in one area tend to virtually think the same way. This is why majority rule is so dangerous, because you have too many people too close together, all thinking the same way, all pressuring each other to think the same way, I might add. And that's another thing. So many people will then vote for in a way that they don't actually believe. They're just voting because they're told to vote a certain way. So
you could say the same thing about rural people being under influenced because they're undereducated. Neither of those has much validity because the counterpoint is still valid.
Education's relative.
So I mean, I get where you're at. Yeah, it's scary that Californians and, but once again, when we look at these places, like let's say Coos Bay, which is supposedly overwhelmingly conservative, you have tons of liberal people here, and it doesn't affect them that they're surrounded by conservatives. Like, look at me. I'm not running over to the Trump side just because of the massive popularity to it. Like, and in California, you have the same thing. There's tons of MAGA guys who are completely undeterred by all the liberals around them. Portland is a really good example of that. It's not that one idea takes over. It's that people segregate themselves. Once you have those two ideas, people tend to group up with people that are like-minded. So when you look at Los Angeles, for example, 75% of it's liberal, but 25% of it is heavy conservative. There's neighborhoods that are almost entirely conservative voters.
Well, and there's a lot of
And
people.
they're big neighborhoods. So you can't say that cities kills bipartisan voting or the fairness of democracy.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. Here's the thing. I'm just saying that, think about it this way. Look at the population of California in total. And now I know that not everybody in California is obviously going to vote one single way, but a majority of those people will lean a certain way potentially. That's why the danger of a popular vote for like a federal presidential candidacy, it makes sense that it's done on a county basis in a lot of ways for the electoral votes that each state gets. I think it's by county. Well, no,
What I'm hearing is the same parallel that the generation before us often
Mhm.
used when they compared kids moving to the city. Urbanization. They said it was the same thing. It was going to cause these same issues that you're talking about. And when we look at our parents and they say that moving to the towns are going to make you join gangs and do drugs and stuff like that, like
Sometimes it happens.
it wasn't that accurate. I mean, not any more so than small town living.
No, I think
Drugs
cities.
are just as prevalent in small towns as they are in big towns. You know, rape is still as prevalent. We just don't talk about it. Violent crimes, they're still there. They just don't get it reported as loud.
I
You
will
know,
say this though. I mean, urban areas. I mean, I should say like urban areas, like more bigger cities, seem to be getting worse because they're really soft on crime. So like people like say nobody wants to go to San Francisco anymore. San Francisco used to be like the apple of a lot of people's eye back in the day. Now it's just like let's just avoid this
oh hell
place.
yeah.
And now it's
The
just
Golden
it's
Gate Bridge was a international draw, but now who wants to go to the carjacking capital of the fucking
yeah,
world? No
nobody.
one.
Exactly. And
Like,
all the businesses are moving away. So like it's the thing is like I will say California is an example of bad ideas run amok. I'm not saying that all collectivist ideas are the worst ideas. I do believe there needs to be social safety nets. I'm actually about that. Like I think it's a smart thing. But I just don't believe and I should believe I believe it should be on a state level for sure. But yeah, it's pretty wild, man. But Michael Donaldson is in the chat. He's saying, "What up, Garza? Who are you talking to?" I'm talking to White Eagle, Mr. Donaldson, and then Mr. Donaldson also says, "Cali sucks," is what he's saying.
I agree with that firmly. No argument there on my part. I'm not a big fan.
I will say though, like I think the thing that because I used to vote Democrat when I was younger, like when I was like 18, 19, 20. But what
Yeah.
really steered me away from the Democrat Party was more of the just the whole they're not liberals anymore. I don't think the Democrat Party is as liberal as they claim to be. I think it's the party's become way too regressive for me. I'm very progressive, to be honest. I love green energy. I love all that shit. I will say deep down when it comes to federal spending though, I am conservative. I believe that we should not be spending money because it's not it really isn't the government's money to truly be spending, even though technically it is because we all agree to pay taxes and shit. But like
Yeah, it's their money if they're spending their money. It depends. Like, we have budgeting that Americans have agreed on, and all the way up until I think it's 66, we had a public budget. Every year, the budget of what our government did was public record the year after it happened.
we
But
don't have a
after
public budget anymore.
66, we established a black, what is it? I can't read. It's black funds or something like that. But the government said that they needed to have money to do stuff that the Americans couldn't necessarily know about.
That
That is
sounds pretty
when we
skeezy.
stopped having a open budget and it went to the 7-year rotation.
Ugh, that's an
Uh,
excuse. That's an excuse
yeah.
for them to just spend money, and also it's an excuse to launder money and not tell anybody. That sounds like an excuse about to money launder because there need
Well, it
I believe in
funded a
full.
lot of things like those South American issues that I was telling you about. And we have a lot of those in the Middle East too that are long standing. We did some bad stuff and like, so oh man, I got to be careful what I say these
It's okay.
days.
It's okay.
I'm just kidding.
Don't worry, bud.
America's an interesting place to live right now.
No, and don't be afraid to have opinions that are unpopular. That's the thing. I enjoy whether they're popular or whether they're unpopular. That's the whole point of free speech is really because popular speech is always going to be protected by the masses. Unpopular speech needs to be protected by like a constitution, basically. Like we have
Well,
to.
and man, it's our duty. Like when that guy said I shouldn't be allowed to vote, I support that unpopular idea. You know what? Fucking some people can have that belief, you know. I don't want to infringe on your beliefs. I want to infringe on your actions. Like, your beliefs are your own. I never want to try to change those. What I want to change is hurtful actions and shit, you know. Like, so I mean, we're all on the same page for the most part. Like I said, everybody, even the most hateful people, they do what they do because they love someone or something so much. You know.
Yeah. And sometimes people have heinous beliefs, but the problem, you know, I will say this, sometimes the people who have the most heinous beliefs or do the most heinous things believe they're doing it for the good of whatever. For instance, the villain doesn't see themselves as the enemy. They are as the bad guy. They don't see themselves that way. They see themselves as the hero. It's almost like I always think of the Borg, right? The Borg actually, so in the best of both worlds,
Yep, I agree with you. The Borg are taking care of humanity to the best, all the races that they assimilate,
yeah,
to the best of their ability. I
from
fucking love the Borg.
from their view. No, straight up, it's funny because when Locutus of Borg is talking to Worf in the sickbay, he's basically saying, "Why do you resist? We wish to raise quality of life for all species." And then Worf says, "I like my species the way it is." And then Locutus says, "A narrow vision. You will become one with the Borg," and then just goes off on a little thing where he tells everybody they're going to be one with the Borg, basically. But the whole idea is that the villain, even though Starfleet obviously sees them as the villain and the bad guy trying to force people to do things that they don't want to do, the Borg see themselves as the holy savior of all these species, and that, hey, we're doing you a favor, bitches. You know, like that. It's weird. So the people we see as villains don't see themselves as the villain. They really see themselves as the good guy. So I do believe that sometimes good and evil tend to be a perspective issue, unfortunately. And it really just depends on, you know, where the perspective lies. You know, it's a wild thing.
The same point. They have more in common with each other than they have different.
Yeah. Their belief is that the one thing they have in common, one thing everybody has in common, is they do believe that their ideas are for the betterment of something, whatever that something may be. And yeah, it's wild, and there's a lot of disagreement because you know what is the universal truth, you know, about the beliefs. Who knows? But and that's the whole, and that's the whole point about truth, is trying to get to the bottom of things and trying to see what actually is, because it's easy for myself to lie to myself, you know, and think that I might be right.
I do not want to alienate your viewer base. Have we had any interesting comments lately?
Michael Donaldson says, well, later, Garza, I think he just was listening, but he's like, I'm out. No, and there's nothing wrong with alienating my viewer base. Honestly, my viewer base, I hope if they're not open-minded, that's on them, you know.
If they can't take a beating, then they should probably start doing some stretching training.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
My show is all about having diversity of thought. You know, I like having diverse thought. I'd rather listen to
Thick
people.
Skins and thin wieners.
Yeah, you know, big mussies and small mussies. You know, like you know, we're about all the different mussies out there. And
you don't always have to mussy hard.
See, we're a variety show. We love all mussies. Maybe not equally, but we love all mussies respectively.
I really appreciate you having me on your show as a moderate liberal or whatever I am. I don't know what I am these days, but
you're just an individual with beliefs.
Living, that's convenient.
Yeah, you're an individual with beliefs, brother. That's about the extent of it. I mean, that's really the extent of it. You just have beliefs.
It reminds me of I think it was Woody Harrelson and John C. Reilly. They're like dressed up as cowboys doing a fake country western song, and they mentioned two old cowboys. What are their names? Gene and Roy. They're like, they were better cowboys than us, and I mean it, but we're still living, and that's convenient. I fucking love that line. Something about
pretty
it
good.
just always gets me. It's like,
we have one of the
than us, but we're still living.
We have one of the founding fathers in the chat right now. George Washington is in the chat, and the first thing he said, he said,
oh, God.
he said Gaza is the first thing he said. It said Gaza.
Does he mean Gaza?
Well, he might have been trying to say Garza, but he always calls me Gaza because I say a lot of gay shit on this channel. I ain't gonna lie. I talk about mussies and.
Does George Washington generally approve of your channel?
George Washington, every time I do like one of those car streams, he's like, you better take it into the mechanic. You're like weighing it down. You better jump out of the car now. It's gonna break down on you. And then he's like, he usually tell me to lose weight and stuff. But hey, you know what? I want to thank George Washington, man. He's fat shaming me to get skinny. So thank you, bud.
Oh my God. That way you don't need Lizzo.
Yeah, dude. It's just like Cartman said. He's just like, rich people have fat shaming, and then us poor people are stuck with Lizzo.
God damn it.
But
it's a beautiful world. Beautiful place.
So hey, if George Washington can give me free fat shaming, dude, I'm fine with it, man. Fat shame me if you want. That's all. I don't really care. I know I'm a big boy.
Right in my mussy.
I'm beefy, dude. I got a big mussy and
my lovely lady mussy.
This channel appreciates the mussy in all of its forms. There are many multiple mussies, but I want to start a cult.
This channel in some of its forms.
You should honestly. I don't know if anybody should appreciate it. It's a very degenerate channel, but it's a fun channel. We try to stay fun, and we try to stay as inappropriate as we can be. Inappropriateness is always appropriate on this channel.
Inappropriately appropriate.
Yeah. The inappropriate becomes the appropriate on the Michael Garza show. It becomes commonplace. That's why we constantly play unfitting music on this show, because it's not appropriate.
What is unfitting music for your show?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, really, most music would fit with your show.
Oh yeah,
some sort of yacht rock or elevator shit.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Creed.
Yeah, a little Creed. A little Celine Dion. I think My Heart Will Go On.
Don't call me.
Don't come in me. Please spit on my chest. That dude, that's Rucka's. By the way, to anybody who's watching, if you've never heard of Rucka Ali, look up "Am I Gay" Rucka, and you will thank me later, or you will just be disturbed by how much fake semen is everywhere in that video.
It's quality.
It's funny now. Every time I hear the original song, I think of the Rucka version.
It's in every movie from the 90s. It's
funny. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Rucka's the man, dude. I love Rucka. Oh, George Washington just retracted a message. Oh, George Washington just said low testosterone. How did he know I'm a low T man? Fuck. It's pretty obvious. I don't grow a beard though. I mean, I grow a wimp. I grow a wimpy beard. One of these days, I'll grow a full beard.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm not gonna lie though, because I am such a sloppy eater. It is easier for me just not to have a beard. I really am. I'm a disgusting, destructive eater. So I get when I did have a beard for a little bit of time, I got shit in it all the time, and I was like, "Fuck this shit."
Oh God.
Like, here's the thing.
He doesn't mean literal shit. He means stuff.
I want to say this though. Why do people have beards, right? So like, if you like, I'll give you an example. Hypothetically speaking, let's say I liked eating ass, right? And
True.
I don't. I think. What?
Yeah,
okay, hypothetically speaking, if I liked eating ass, why would I grow a full beard? I'm gonna I'll get shit in my beard, dude.
No. First of all,
what?
When you eat ass, your partner should be fucking kind enough to have a clean asshole. If it's not immediately after a shower or a good baby wiping,
Okay.
you have a bad partner.
Okay.
Or they're into dirty play.
Oh,
Either way, you know, not my game.
Wait, hold on.
But
Do people stick the tongue in the butt? Do people do that? Like you watch
so
probably a
if
little
you're
more
only
stuff like that.
outside the butt, if you're only outside the butt, then you're rimming.
Okay,
You're
okay.
just rimming. But anything inside,
Ooh.
that would be eating ass. I presume. I don't know what the kids call it. Fucking.
I don't want to know what the
Oh,
kids call it. Oh man.
Oh man. Good conversation. You know, that's what your fans need to know about is eating more ass.
Dude, my fans got more out of you in an hour than they get out of me in the lifetime of this show. So you actually gave them more
Always
value.
Remember, if you don't eat your girlfriend's ass, someone will.
That's true. No, I will say this though, but no, I will say this though.
Oh, and the beard thing. Sorry, before I lose.
Yes, the beard. How do
the
you?
Beard's like a French tickler, man. It makes everything better. I call it my womb broom.
Oh God.
It's.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm judging. I'm judging hard. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's interesting though. I'm learning a lot. Like that's another thing, dude. Like, you know, eating ass. I just felt. I guess when I think of eating ass, I think of like. Usually in my mind.
It's on the outside, and it's just an oral stimulation. It just tickles, feels good.
Oh, okay.
It's not a, it's not a weird. I mean, if you go in a little bit, that's okay too. But for the oh, I actually read an article on this recently.
Oh God.
So the reason why your dildo doesn't come out all shitty when you ass fuck.
All right.
So your colon is split up into different chambers, and the last one right before your butthole is the rectum. That's the chamber, and it actually doesn't fill with poop until your body like triggers it that it's ready to shit. Like that one is like straight up the torpedo like launching bay for your shits. It which I was like, because I was doing some research, I was kind of wondering about the scenario of like, and so what better to go than do a cursory internet search?
Would you say that like instead of like people getting traditional enemas, they should? Hold on. Just want to tell everybody this is not medical advice, by the way. None of this is medical advice. Don't even think about it. Don't even try it at home. But out of curiosity, in my own mind, do you think that having a dick in your butt would be better than an enema, like in the long term, like getting all the excess shit out of your ass? Like, would it loosen it up? It would loosen it up, I think. I think things would get looser.
So for the most part, enemas and colonics I view as relatively unnecessary.
All right.
They're the kind of procedures that Hollywood people get done because they want to feel like they actually did something.
Hell yeah.
But in the end, they didn't. They, it's like you would get more physically for your body out of a heavy cranberry binge with some prune juice.
Ooh, that would be a double whammy.
That would throw some pomegranate in there, and it actually tastes good too. So like you pump those through you're getting vitamin C, you're getting antioxidants, and you're getting the rectal flush. Now the only thing that you don't get, and this is where I was like, where's he going with this? The enema gives you a mild prostate massage because of the pressure it puts on the rectum. Sick. And the prostate is connected.
Hell yeah.
And prostate massage has been shown to cut down on prostatic cancer.
Sweet.
Prostate cancer. So regular masturbation and rubbing the base of your dick behind your balls where the prostate's actually at, like up near the butthole and stuff, is healthy for it. it's not saying you won't get cancer. It's like
Yeah.
the just like doing what you can to not, you know. Yeah, so that's a fun one. And that being said, anal play does stimulate the prostate and has some benefits in that regard. Alternatively, extreme anal play can cause damage, and that is bad for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And some less obvious ones too. But yeah.
Damn, bro. Damn. Oh man, that's funny shit. I will
read
say,
a lot. Stay at home, Dad. I got time to read.
you got time? Do you get that research? But actually, I will have to let you go in here in a second. I realized I didn't really eat shit today. Speaking of shit, I didn't really eat much today, so I am actually gonna cook myself a meal real fast and kind of relax a little bit, kind of clean up a little, and then yeah, dude, dude. Honestly, this enema talks is getting me hungry, dude. It's fucking all this anal sex talk, dude, just making me hungry.
It's not for everyone, but I understand.
Yeah, I watched Two Girls, One Cup, and I want to eat a whole pizza, man. So, but all right, Mr. Eagle, to you and the audience, to the audience, do you got anything to say to the audience before we get off of here?
I do. My daughter is calling. Bye.
Oh, bye. Later, man. Bye. Oh, it's funny shit. Hold on, I gotta respond to my lady's message. Well, so that was a conversation with my good buddy, the White Eagle. I won't say his full real name, just because I like to protect my friend's identity. Unless he actually ever wanted to say his real name, then that's okay. But that is my boy, the White Eagle. And very insightful man, very keen mind, very fascinating dude. I appreciate his insights on shit. I really do. Like, straight up, he's a very fascinating dude. I will admit we do disagree on a few things, but it's always fine to disagree. We got to be okay with disagreeing with each other. But, you know, I'm just saying in general as a society, we need to be okay with that. So hopefully I've encouraged more people to, you know, state their truth, state their beliefs, and, you know, just don't force anybody. That's the one thing I will say to my audience. I know a lot of people want to force their beliefs down people's throats, but just remember, you know, no matter what you believe, you know, try not to force other people to do, you know, that's the best thing I could say. But yeah, anyway, try to love each other to the best of your guys' ability. It takes a lot more energy to create than it is to destroy. So try to create to the best to what you can and see what you can accomplish. Hell yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm really tired, you guys. Oh, I gotta stop yawning. But I'll catch you all later. Thank you guys for stopping by. And